Thank you, Music Posse, for the pump up music for tonight. For all of you social friends on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube that has somehow tripped upon our live stream episode here tonight, this episode of Real Living in Bolingbrook. And in case you don't know where Bolingbrook is, my co-host wants we give him a nice round of applause to join us. He's gonna drop some nuggets of information to talk about all things great in Bolingbrook. So let's give him a rip-roaring applause. Why? Because come on, people, it's the month of January where he and I are at. It's too cold, it's too icy, too much white stuff, and we haven't seen as much sun. So I know Greg needs this rip-roaring applause. Here we go. Hey, Greg, they're cheering you on, buddy. They're cheering you on.
I'm on stage. Here I am. Hey, Bill, how are you? Nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well. Am I correct? Why not get some nice applause to pump us up in this month of January when we live through it all the time? The cold weather,
weather,
right? All that stuff.
Oh, it's been brutal the last few weeks, but I'm optimistic that all we have is another 4 weeks of February, True. And we're into March. You know, March True. Can be anything, but still, we're on our way.
True. Let me give you a vision. A quick vision of what's in front of you, probably in about not a few weeks, maybe a few months. So let me share with you a vision of what I remember you love doing. Here we go, people. This is what Greg absolutely enjoys doing when he is not helping you or someone you know. Let's take a look.
Oh yeah, kayaking. Except I don't go on the lakes so much. I just go down the river. I don't want to go so much. I just want to steer and just cruise down the river. I drive past that river probably several times a week, just going from over there. And I'm always looking down the river thinking, I wonder if I could make it down that river. But right now it's frozen over. So
it's frozen. Yeah.
It's frozen. There's no way we're going anywhere.
Yeah. So, Greg,
yes.
The holidays are behind us, right?
Yes.
Super Bowl is in front of us.
Yeah.
And I remember this. There's that ism, right? The ism is, once Super Bowl is done, the real estate market, the real estate season opens up. Is that really true?
That's absolutely true. Right after Super Bowl is the beginning of the spring market. Okay. And that's where everyone who wants to put their home on the market in the spring, March, April, and May, that's when they start gearing up to get their house ready to be put on the market. This year, though, I've noticed just in the last couple of weeks, I've already seen a lot of just with the amount of contacts I've gotten for people that are thinking about listing for the spring.
Right.
It has increased quite a bit from the previous years. To give you an example, the last 2 weeks, I did more than 10 market analysis where I deliver it to them. which
Mm-hmm.
shows like what's going on in the market, what their house value is, and all that kind of information. And that's just in the last couple of weeks. A few of them were people that I've sold a house to here in Bolingbrook or in the area.
Okay.
I met with them, but it's already ticking up. So I'm
Wow.
very hopeful that this spring and summer is going to be a really good market. You have to think the average person doesn't realize this, but the real estate market the last 4 years or so has been horrible.
Yeah.
Now, I know you might be thinking, well, what do you mean? Because my property values went up so much. Well,
True.
it's horrible in the sense of the amount of transactions closed
Right.
are 3 decades. It hasn't been this bad in 3 decades.
Right.
The amount of transactions.
Right.
So the amount of transactions have come down dramatically. And because of that, there's no homes on the market and the values go up.
Yeah. Yeah.
This year, there's several things that are happening
Yeah.
that I think are gonna, what do I want to say? Are gonna shift the market. Just a lot of things with new Fed chair that we're supposed to be getting, lower interest rates, $200 billion invested into Fannie Freddie to, push out more loans in the bond market. So there's actually about 6 things. Also, limiting investors from being able to invest in real estate.
True.
So there's a lot of things that I think will come together this year. And this is the first year that I've been optimistic that it's going to keep around.
Well, I'll add to that. I'll add to all of that valuable color commentary from you as a local real estate expert. Where? Come on, people, look at the social. Yeah, in Bolingbrook. There you go. But by the way, full disclosure, absolutely in Bolingbrook and beyond, right?
Yeah, all the area here, but I've lived here for 20 years.
Wow.
And I've been a realtor since, 20 years. So
yeah. So let me add to your expert color commentary about what's going on. During those, 5 years, referencing what you shared with all of us.
Yes.
I'm going to say this now. What's happening? Well, here is what's happening. Social friends, listen in. Come closer. Listen in. People are getting married. People are having babies, maybe more than one. Mm-hmm. People who are like me, maybe not like Greg, like me, each January, their itch of, I got to get out of here and avoid this frozen tundra. The itch gets bigger and bigger. And ultimately, they're like, all right, enough of this. I got to do something. I got to have a change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that is my unexpert opinion.
Yeah. But here in Bolingbrook, there's, right as of right now, the last few months is the holiday season. Right. Typically in this time frame, things slow down, usually quite a bit. Yeah. That doesn't mean that you don't sell homes. I've had some of my busiest months were in July, but typically speaking, it slows down, this time frame. But even looking in the last 12 months, we've still had more than a 5% growth in value.
Yeah.
From last year. Right now, the median estimated value is 506,000. Yeah. Days on the market is only 16 days. So I have a scale that I look at. It looks like this.
Okay.
And over here, it has a seller's market, then it has a neutral market, and then it has a buyer's market. And there's an arrow showing you where we are in here. Yeah. The best is to be right in the middle, right in the neutral position, right?
True. We
are about a centimeter from the very end of a seller's market. I mean, we're over just, on a scale that big, it's like that far over into a seller's market.
Okay.
We have a long way to go. We're still in the seller's market before we get that neutral ground.
Yeah. So what I think I heard from you is, I'm going to rephrase it, put it into a layman's explanation. Sellers, it's a great time to sell if you have your compelling reason, your compelling event to get to that next chapter that you've been itching to get to. So, hey, Greg, hang on one second. We have someone calling in. Hang on 1 second.
Oh,
hello, cute little baby. I can't really understand you. Tell you what, why don't you throw your question into our live stream chat? Okay. All right. So sorry, Greg. Having said that, we're going to see what his question is. Cute little baby. Guess what? Probably a first-time buyer, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
All right, let's move the conversation, you and me, this way. I want to ask you a question. You can answer it from two perspectives. Your personal opinion, your professional opinion. All right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
In your opinion, either way you want to lead off with, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 people or one person, 10 households or just one household, how many on that scale would you say are house rich, cash poor?
The majority. I think
put a number on it, brother.
I would probably say 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10 are house rich, cash poor.
Oh, you're giving me your expert opinion or personal one?
Both.
Both.
I have no hidden agenda on that one.
But
other things I have hidden agendas on.
All right. So you are spot on. So before asking you this question, because you know me, I'm somewhat organized for most of the time, and I'm somewhat good at technology. So I threw that question at ChatGPT amongst other AI models, and consistently, you're spot on, brother. It's about 70%.
Yeah.
Right.
Makes sense. Inflation has gone up.
Right.
People generally, a lot of them, they're hurting. Yeah. Insurance has gone up. Car insurance, house insurance, medical insurance, everything's gone up, and everyone's sitting in a house that has, a lot of equity.
A lot of equity, a lot of value, right? Mm-hmm. All right. So here's my next question. What are some different ways? You can get crazy on me. What are some different ways that people can buy their next home with cash, or perhaps supposed cash? What do you rattle off a few choices?
So one of them, and probably something that you're aware of, being more on the lending side, but there's a lot of programs apparently where you can actually buy before you sell.
Yes.
And that's a real good option for people.
Right.
From my understanding, the bank then, once they approve you, they go in and buy the house under their corporate name. Then you have a certain amount of time to sell your house, but you still own the other one. Right. And then once that one's done, the money goes to pay it off, and you're off and running.
Yeah, that's absolutely a very unique way. Okay.
Yeah. Other than that, trying to think of how you would buy cash other than just having the cash.
Oh, let me drop one for you.
Okay.
This one is common. We just don't hear about it as much. It's called the Bank of Grandpa and Grandma.
Inheritance?
Yeah, inheritance. Or if you have wealthy grandparents, you could kind of say, hey, Grandpa, Grandma, can I tap your well for about this much? I just need a short term so that I can buy my next home. I don't have to stress with moving twice or 3 times, and I don't want that anxiety. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
So the bank of grandparents or the bank of parents is kind of subtle, not as spoken, right? But it does exist. Okay,
it does exist. Yeah.
Yeah.
A bridge loan would be another one.
Oh,
but that's not really getting cash,
Well,
it's another way that you could buy. One.
It is. So here's the thing. Thank you for the segue. For those of you who are enjoying our very unscripted banter, right, Greg? We never script what we're going to talk about.
Maybe we should.
Maybe we should. That's true. That way we don't go off tangent. But I try to keep us on the right track. The track is wide, though. All right. So thank you for the segue. You're absolutely right. There is something called bridge financing, social friends. This is where if you own a property with a lot of equity, you're house rich. And when I say cash poor, don't take that the wrong way. It just means that you don't have as much dollars, greenbacks, Benjamins in the actual bank account. You need to do something to get to that outcome. So, Greg, recently, I helped a client execute how to use a bridge loan to execute their buy now, cash offer, nice and clean, close in 12 days before selling their mic drop, before selling the big home that they have outgrown in the sense they hate the stairs. The female spouse is tired of the big home and the maintenance that comes with it. Mm-hmm. And then third, you know this one and I know this one because we live it. As they look ahead at their future, their next chapter, they consistently ask the question, why are we staying here and facing these property tax figures that we don't need to? Mm-hmm. Right on, brother? Right. So we carved out a fraction of the equity that they own in this property, turn it into actual cash, man. All right. They have 6 months to use this bridge money. They bought the next home cash, nice clean offer. Why do I know that? It's because the day they were closing, I didn't feel the need to be there, just be another face in the crowd. Plus, it's standard stuff. You know how closing is. You just sign a bunch of documents, standard stuff. Someone might explain some of the unique legal stuff, but you're just signing away, like letting go of the cash, or you wired the funds beforehand, and then you walk out, right? All right. So they did that. They bought cash, next property. And by the way, did they really downsize? Let me whisper this to you. Social friends, a lot of baby boomers who supposedly downsize, they want to really just right size, mm-hmm. Right? They still have a lot of stuff. They just don't like the home that they probably outgrew. So they bought this next home cash, and here's the mic drop, Greg. 2 days after they closed on the next home, got keys to it, they got an offer on the big, large home. Nice, clean buyer offer. Why do I know that one? I wasn't the lender, but these clients of mine, we built such a strong relationship. They called me just to get my opinion. Like, Bill, can we borrow like 10 minutes of your time in a call? And then they said, we got this offer from a buyer. Here's what the offer tells us. This is where we're at. What's your gut feeling? And I said, keep going. You're almost there. Mm-hmm. So my point is bridge financing. If tonight, social friends, you've enjoyed our unscripted, humorous banter, peppered in with some professional stuff, the one thing you're thinking is, yes, I'm house rich. Maybe you're not that cash poor, but you want to leverage the house rich part to do what you want. Bridge financing. Remember those 2 words. All right, let's now move to another favorite topic of mine and yours as well. I am sure you hear it. Now, before I bring it up, let me move a couple of things around. All right, let's move us around. Here we go. There's a little visual here. You've heard this, Greg. Property owners right now, they may have bought 5 years ago, maybe 7 years ago. They were smart. They were not fearful, right? You know that drill. Mm-hmm. And they're hanging on to this mortgage, maybe a small mortgage with a very low rate. You've heard that, right? Mm-hmm. And maybe as part of their story this way, you hear the rest. You hear that, Greg, I'm not ready to sell, but I've been getting your newsletters consistently, so I know you. I'm not telling you I know you, but I know you.
Yeah.
And then they kind of like whisper, right? It always starts that way. They whisper like, we might be ready to sell. I'll text you when I'm ready for you to walk in and drop your expert knowledge. And then the next part is, oh yeah, as part of your newsletters that I've enjoyed getting value from, I hear it consistently. I now believe it. I need to probably make some small adjustments and improvements. You've heard that. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. So then the magic happens and they tell you, well, some of this touch up, improvement, adjustment stuff that I want to do because I'm kind of house rich, cash light. How can I get some money to fund and finance those little projects? Have you heard those stories?
Yep. Yep.
All right. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, first time buyers, especially that cute little boy that phoned into us, there is a solution. Let me spring it on you. There is now available from me, right? Available from me, a renovation line of credit that if you qualify for it, you can get a line of credit based on the after improved value of the property, which means if you're thinking about adding a second story, adding an extra room, so this really impacts value, right, Greg? You're the expert.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. So this line of credit will not do anything with your low rate golden handcuffs mortgage. We're going to leave that little puppy alone because you want it that way. But we're going to give you this line of credit based on after improved value. And it's a line of credit. You use it as you please. And it's a renovation. So you have to do it. You have to get it to renovate. It is not to go to Vegas, blow it all on black.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the last nugget we wanted to share with you as part of our unscripted banter. Anything else you want to add, Greg?
No, not that I can think of off the top of my head.
Well, I'm going to add one for you. You ready? All right. I'm going to add one for you. So, many of you, if you're watching us tonight, you're probably getting Greg's newsletters. Why? Because the guy is so consistent. All right. I know that. You know that. If what's right in front of you is your life event that requires you to sell and you're going to move somewhere, you got that itch like me every January. I don't want to be here anymore. I want to go there. Then here's what I'm about to tell you. All you have to do, real simple, is start a conversation with Greg. He will engage you in a conversation to start the process of getting you to your next chapter. If you need to sell in order to buy, or let's do it reverse. You like what you heard tonight, bridge financing. Remember those two words. Renovation line of credit. You heard that as well. Start a conversation with Greg. Why? Because he is the expert when it comes to what value is doing today, what it might look like if you're going to improve something, and along the way, absolutely. If you are not going to tap the bank of grandparents, the bank of parents, and you still need to use other people's money, simply scan the QR code next to my headshot. We will both embrace you, tag team, and move a very productive conversation along. Greg, before I ask my music posse to play us out, any other words of wisdom, sir?
Yes, I would just say that as far as a lot of the home improvements with contractors, I have some of the greatest contractors for you to work with, just about in every field. I have flooring guys, I have countertop guys, I have kitchen cabinet painting people, all that stuff. So I have a pretty large Rolodex when it comes to helping people with their home.
Absolutely. You know why? Because you and I have shared this ism before. Real estate is a team sport, people. Social friends. When you need help, make sure you assemble the right team. So, Music Posse, here we go. Play us out, because Greg and I, we gotta go and grab some dinner probably. Here we go.